Vice Chair Finnerty.
Present.
The secretary is here. Board Member Catalinato.
Present.
Board Member Zuccarelli.
Present.
Board Member Long is not here, but we have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay. We have two public hearings this evening and one rescheduled to January 13th. We have applicants and members of the public standing by via Zoom webinar, which is being moderated by CTV. Charles Certain will be muting and holding speakers in a virtual waiting room until it's their time to give testimony before the board. A reminder that applicants, agents, and members of the public speaking should state their name and address for the record. A further reminder that despite the Zoom environment, all comments should be directed to the board and not to other participants. The link to participate in this meeting via Zoom can be found on the town's website. This meeting is also being live streamed on the town's website on the town clerk's meeting portal. If you're having difficulty accessing the meeting, please visit the town clerk's meeting portal and click on the instructions link. Public comments can be made via Zoom, by email, or by uploading them to the town clerk's portal on the planning board page. You will see on that page a button you can click, upload your comments. Please do not use the Zoom chat function to register your comments. Any comments made via chat will not be included nor made part of the record. Instead, you may either speak at the hearing or submit your comments in writing after the hearing. Board members who must recuse themselves from any application will state so on the record and will be removed from the meeting until the end of the hearing. Additionally, in accordance with the legislation, these hearings will be recorded and transcribed and be made available to the public. So the first application that we had was Broda, and the applicant has requested that it be moved to January 13th. However, if there's anyone here who is planning on speaking, we will hear comments. So I don't know, Charles, if you have anybody for that application.
There are no hands.
There are no hands. Okay, then we will reschedule. Do I need a vote on that, Matthew? Kathleen, do I
Yes,
need a
Madam
vote?
Chair.
Okay, can I have a motion to reschedule by Zuccarelli, second by Dennis, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
abstentions, 5 in favor, 1 absent. We'll move on to Ocean View Park. Section 1 and 2, Development Section Amendment, Hamlet of North Sea. Craig, can you read that into the record for us?
Sure.
And
Notice-
just quickly, I'm sorry, we do have proper notice, Madam Chair.
Oh, sorry, completely forgot, Kathleen, thanks.
Thanks, Kathleen. Notice of public hearing. Please take notice that in accordance with the governor's executive order number 202-1, a public hearing will be held by the Southampton Town Planning Board on Wednesday, November the 10th, 2021 at 6 p.m. via video conferencing to consider the old filed map entitled Ocean View Park, Section 1 and 2. The Planning Board received an application to amend the approved development section from Norman Levine on September the 3rd, 2021, which requests to amend the development section map of Ocean View Park, map number 105, Part 1 and Part 2, located south of Great Hill Road from its original development section plan approved by the Planning Board on April 21st, 1983, with the original filed map of Ocean View Park, map number 105, which is originally filed with the Suffolk County Clerk's Office on January 28th, 1910, and more recent amendment approved by the Planning Board on May the 10th, 2016. Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-64-1, 3146-3, 52, 60-2, 61-5, 67-2, 68-1, 76, 83, 138-1, 139-1, 140-2, 141, 142-2, 144, 146-10, 146-11, 147, 148, 149, 150, 151, 152, 153, and 154-7. By order of the Planning Board of Southampton Town, Gloria Burke, Secretary.
Thank you, Craig. That was an easy one.
Yeah, the numbers were easy to read.
I thought you were learning how to count.
That sounded like a football quarterback.
Charles, is there someone? Do we have proper notice, Kathleen? We do, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
there is someone.
Yeah, Karen Hoag, I believe, is the applicant's representative.
She's coming.
Thank you.
Gotta start your video. Here you go.
Good evening, board members.
Good
How's
evening.
everybody this evening? I'm here on behalf of Norman and Eileen Levine.
Can you just give us your name for the record, please?
Sure, it's Karen Hoag from Toomey Latham Shea, Riverhead, New York.
Thank you.
So I'm here on behalf of the homeowners, Norman and Eileen Levine. And as stated, this is an application to relocate a driveway from Hampton Avenue to Castle Hill Court. Castle Hill Court is owned by Joe Gaza, who has consented to us taking access via Castle Hill Court as opposed to Hampton Avenue. The terrain along Hampton Avenue is pretty steep and would require extensive excavation and a longer drive. As requested at the work session on October 14th, the board had asked us to provide a letter to the planning board in regard to a statement saying that we're aware of the planning board's prior approvals on this property, as well as agreeing to maintain the R3rd of Hampton Avenue, which we have sent in on November 5th to the planning board. And if the board has any questions, I'd be more happy to answer them.
I think we had a good discussion about this in the work session.
Are you required to do any improvements on Hampton Avenue as part of road review?
There were improvements that were done previously regarding 2 out of the 3 lot owners were required to do them. And I've provided Jacqueline Fenlon with some of the old planning board memos regarding that. So that should be in the town's files.
So as part of, were you did you have to go through road review to get the building permit?
To get the building permit for construction?
Yes.
I don't believe so. I know that the homeowner is actually on the line and who handled the application. If possible, can he be let into the meeting?
No, I mean, no, it's not. You know, we'll look into that. It's just if you were required to do improvements on Hampton Avenue, they still have to be done, even though you're not going to be taking, because there are 2 other properties that are sharing Hampton Avenue. So it's important that you do your portion of the improvements.
Right. So I do believe that there have been improvements already made to Hampton Avenue.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? If not, is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak to this application?
I see no hands. The applicant is on if he wants to speak, though.
The applicant wants to speak?
No, I'm saying he is there if he.
Right, okay. So hearing none, we'll close the public hearing with a 10-day written comment period. Motion by Dennis, second by Gloria, all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, 5 in favor, 1 absent. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're moving on to number 3, the Hampton Bays Fire District and Good Ground Commons.
We have proper notice, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Dennis, did you get that to read, or if not?
I
Matthew,
didn't. Where would it be?
You sent it to me.
Oh, I
Jack.
sent it to Gloria. Okay, sorry.
Oh, you didn't get it, Dennis.
That's why you didn't get it.
Okay, there you go.
Notice of public hearing. Please take notice that in accordance with the governor's executive order number 202.1, a public hearing will be held by the Southampton Town Planning Board on Wednesday, November 10th, 2021 at 6 p.m. via video conferencing to consider the pre-application entitled Hampton Bays Fire District and Good Ground Commons. The application proposes a 3-lot subdivision of a 1.6 .101 acre, 7,136 square feet, irregularly shaped parcel of land situated in the Village Business Zoning District located at 84 West Montauk Highway, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-223-2-4.1. A transcript of said hearing will be provided at a later date, and the public will have an opportunity to see and hear the meeting live and to provide comments. The public can watch the live meeting on the town clerk's website under the Planning Board Meeting tab or participate through the Zoom app. If any interested members of the public would like to provide comments on the public hearing, comments can be submitted to the Planning Board via mail, email, or uploaded to the town clerk's portal prior to the meeting, where additional and updated information on ways to view and participate will be posted. In addition, the record will remain open after the public hearing for the submission of written comments. Please check the November 10th, 2021 meeting agenda posted on the town clerk's website as the hearing date approaches for further instructions on how to access the virtual meeting and for any updated information. By order of the Planning Board of the Town of Southampton, Gloria Burke, Secretary.
Great. Let the record show that Robin Long has arrived. Hi, Robin.
Thank you.
Okay. So Wayne, are you representing this application?
Yes, I am.
Okay, it's all yours.
So good evening, board members. Wayne Bruin O'Shea, Marcinson and Bruin on behalf of the applicants. As the notice indicates, this is a application of joint ownership with both the Hampton Bays Fire District and Good Ground Commons, Inc. We had a work session on this recent submission, but this board may recall that you considered and actually granted conditional approval to a different version of a map, which involved a transfer of property and inclusion of other properties to the west back in 2017. I was hired after that was considered and approved, but got involved when the applicant had encountered issues with the property to the west having never been reviewed and approved by the health department, which then complicated the entire subdivision. So we backtracked, went to the original proposal, which is just to subdivide this property into 3 lots. So we're back at a pre-application stage. We have resubmitted to the health department. The 3 lots, lot 1, first of all, it's a total lot area of 70,136 square feet. It's approximately 1.6 acres. We're in the Village Business Zone. The property adjoins Good Ground Park to the north and Montauk Highway on the south. There is the odd shape is because years ago an out parcel was taken by the state and used as a recharge basin, and there is an easement to access that through the center of the property from Montauk Highway. The subdivision here proposes a 13,000 square foot lot with direct frontage on Montauk Highway. That's shown as lot 1. That is rectangular in shape. Lot 2 is the lot to the back, which is now owned by Good Ground Commons. That has a strange configuration. It looks like a flag lot, but it doesn't have frontage on the street, and I'll talk more about that. And then lot 3 is another lot retained by the Hampton Bays Fire District, approximately 30 feet wide, runs the length of the property from Montauk Highway to Good Ground Park on the north. The lot 2, the lot that is owned by Good Ground Commons, was originally proposed to be transferred to a lot to the west, also controlled by Good Ground Commons, but which was shown as a lot on a subdivision granted by the zoning board in 1983, which would then have frontage over a private right-of-way or access over a private right-of-way to Montauk Highway to the south. The parcel to the south, that parcel has a dwelling on it. The parcel to the south, that was also part of the Jackson subdivision, owned by James McGuire, currently has an antique shop with apartments over the top in the Village Business Zone. The problems with the health department was they required that previous map in 1983, never got their approval, and now required all sorts of approvals, changing existing septic systems, reallocating sewage flow and the like, all of which was not acceptable to both applicants. The issue for the fire district, however, and part of the configuration of Lot 2 is they're concerned about access out onto Montauk Highway, directly across from the existing firehouse, even though their future lots would have such access. Their concern was more immediate, that this lot would be part of some development in the near future, which would access directly out to Montauk Highway. So they believe that the lot would not have, is designed not to have frontage, and therefore physical access, driveway access would always come from the rear, which would be over the good ground properties to the west. Notwithstanding that, though, the need for public utilities would be via easement in the proximate location of the driveway that exists to the state recharge basin. And so that's essentially the proposal. Village business, zoning wise, doesn't require frontage. However, the building code, section 123.25, requires that each lot have at least 20 feet of frontage. So if this board is inclined to give us a joint pre-application report with their recommendations to the zoning board, our next step is to go to the zoning board and get that variance for that frontage portion, and then come back to the planning board for the final map. So I'm here if you have any questions.
How much frontage is there right now, Wayne?
For the entire property,
For the application?
well, the entire property frontage is approximately 135 feet. And the one lot will have about 65 feet, and the other lot will have the balance of that. The other 65, you see lot 3 flares out in a manner such that it lot 2, which is the one in the back, comes to a point.
Can we bring up a map so that perhaps when Wayne is speaking, we would be able to,
That would be helpful.
yeah, I think it would be very helpful.
So Wayne, the lots have covered frontage? Or
All
no?
but lot 2 will have frontage.
Yeah, can we share a screen and perhaps bring up a map so we can take a look at this?
Wayne, do you have one or you need me to?
I
Yep.
don't have one on the
Give me,
computer.
give me 1 second. I'll grab it.
Thanks. I can hold one here.
Look it up.
And Charles, there may be a gentleman by the name of Stanley Orchowski.
Yes, I'll let him in.
Yeah, let him in, please, because he's also the attorney for the Hampton Bays Fire District.
All right, we have a map.
Okay.
So Jackie, you can see lot 1, which is the lot on the left. 13,000 square feet. It has about 65 feet of frontage. And then
Okay.
lot 3, which is the easterly lot with the garage on it, has the balance approximately another 65 feet, but the lot that comes to a point is lot 2, and you can see that lot would have 0 frontage. on Montauk Highway. And it's, like I mentioned, it's ingress and egress for vehicles will come from the property to the west via the right of way next to the McGuire property. But utilities, including water and electric and whatever may be necessary, would be via an easement, essentially in that vicinity of lot 3 and the point on lot 2 that would follow along the driveway leading to the recharge basin.
Okay.
And where is Good Ground Park?
If you go to the north, Good Ground Park is to the north. This property would not have access to that unless the town wanted it to, the future development. It's all village business. If there's some development this planning board thought would be appropriate, otherwise there wouldn't be any physical access, egress or ingress. However, the Hampton Bays Water District maintains a main, as you could see there, also a public water main, which could be tapped if necessary as well.
So is the Hampton Bays Fire District concerned? Can you just express their concerns again, or you want the attorney?
Well, Mr. Ochowski's here, but they're part and parcel of the subdivision, and their concerns about is the development of lot 2 having direct access directly across the street. If you're familiar with the location of the property, directly across the street is the firehouse.
And where is lot, now I'm confused, where is lot 2?
Right there.
Okay,
And it's a flag, has its flag access that leads down, but it leads to a point on Montauk Highway.
yeah,
So they're concerned because of the activity in the firehouse directly across the street on Montauk Highway, right?
Correct. They're concerned about our development on lot 2 having that access. They would continue to control lots 1 and 3 and don't plan any access there in the near foreseeable future.
and there's no access then directly to Good Ground Park over any of this property.
Well, that can be achieved if that is something that the fire district will allow. Their lot number 3 would be the only parcel really that would allow that. There's been discussions to that extent about the Hampton Bays Fire District and the town, and I'm not privy to those or what is going on, but that's certainly available, and I know it's been part of plans and discussions that have been ongoing.
I can speak to that if I may, and thank you for allowing me to join the meeting,
Yes.
members of the board. The concerns were with regard to ingress and
And I think you
egress.
need to just identify yourself for the board.
I'm sorry, Stanley Orachowski, General Counsel for the Hampton Bays Fire District. Good evening. And again, thank you for allowing me to join. The concerns were with regard to ingress and egress onto Montauk Highway, particularly with regard to if there were to be development and then vehicular traffic and the problems that may create for the dispatching of the fire department's equipment to emergency calls. When the parcel number 2 was sold to Mr. Brune's client back in 2017, these concerns were voiced, and for that reason, the configuration of the 3 lots was agreed upon as part of the transaction. And again, as Mr. Brune mentioned, back at that time, the plan was for Mr. Kiola's property was to have access to the properties from the west, even perhaps at some point merging lots with his. With regard to lot 3, which my client also owns, there have been discussions with the town a number of years ago with regard to possibly putting a pedestrian walkway, not vehicular traffic, but a pedestrian walkway on that lot to gain access to good ground to the park property to the north. But that discussion did not go very far, and it was not, there was no agreement reached. So that's a little bit of the historical context.
A little history. So lot 3 can be developed commercially, right, in VB, with a VB business. Is that correct, Wayne?
Correct. Each of the lots would be able to be developed for village business purposes, and we expect the board, the typical future coordination of cross access if and when development ever takes place, those kind of restrictions that you normally look for. Although I think the development of lot 2, as you could see, is primarily going to be to the rear. And as Mr. Orchowski indicated, my clients also control the parcel immediately to the west. And that's where, if lot 2 in the near future develops, we would get access across that, which is an existing right-of-way and access out onto Montauk Highway, an established point of access. It wouldn't be a new access, and it's to the west of the firehouse. But as you know, there is a whole set of plans with the town, the whole redevelopment, the Hampton Bays overlay district, business overlay, which the town board still, I guess, going back and revisiting and working on with the planning department, that those plans could play into the future development of these properties as well.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? If not, Charles, is anyone waiting in the
No,
wait room? No.
no one here.
Well, it's a very constrained development. Mr. Borkan, are you waiting to speak at all, or you
No,
just,
he's with me, so
he's with you? Okay.
John's done a lot of the legwork here.
So Wayne, where do you expect to have ingress and egress for that second lot?
Again, the property to the west, if you look on the map,
Yeah, can we go- I'm sorry, again.
you see where it says now or formerly Goodjohn Commons. That was originally part of the Jackson subdivision, and you see the parcel immediately to its south, which is saying now or formerly McGuire. They were part and parcel of the same property, and then immediately to the east, that other thin parcel is actually a right-of-way, a physical driveway and right-of-way, and we would get access in that location.
So where would there be cross access somewhere between?
Well, we
That
would
lot-
definitely have the cross access to the west, and it's possible if the board was looking for it on the northerly part of our property, that'll have to be a discussion with us in the fire district, but that's all that could occur at this time. But I think the Hampton Bays overlay plans talk about access up in that northerly portion. The development on the south, that lot number 1 is sort of stands alone by itself. The two lots, the fire district lots, could share an access point between themselves, where that existing driveway is for the state, if they were ever to be developed. I guess the board could look into that as well.
So that's an out parcel, the New York State out parcel?
Yes.
The state owns that?
Yeah, that's an actual recharge basin for the state highway, county road.
The entire property is a recharge basin? Looks pretty substantial in size.
Yes, if you notice on the survey, you can see where the chain link fence pretty much around the
Yeah,
perimeter.
I see.
How much
Yeah.
is actually dug out or overgrown now, I'm not sure.
I see.
Does planning have any concerns about having, as a part of this, having the ingress, egress issues resolved for that parcel?
I think it'll definitely be part of the discussion. I can speak with Anthony about it specifically, Robin. It's his application. I understand the concern because, Wayne, if I understand you correctly, the access to the firehouse is about here on the other side of Montauk Highway.
Correct.
So that's their concern, that this driveway coming to, if it was to come here, it would kind of conflict. So that's why the access would be, you know.
Yeah, that's an existing point of access, and that's where our access for the back lot would occur. And
Is that a formalized access or is that what you're planning? I'm just.
no, that's currently serves the antique store as well as the residents to the rear.
And
it's
you-
also shared- It's also shared by the other parcel in between, that is shown as Numjowski.
Okay, so I don't have to be concerned that we're forming a parcel. I understand it's commercial and I understand the business, but I'm just concerned we're not forming a parcel right now that doesn't have ingress or egress. You do have right now in place, taking into consideration the concerns of the fire department, you do have a formal ingress and egress for the property.
We would, and interestingly, the board looked at the transfer of property that would have transferred lot 2 to that property to the west, and that's where it would have gotten its access. So physically, we haven't changed the location of the access. We have prepared and are ready to execute, but we wanted to make sure the maps and everybody is in proper form before we actually execute the easement. But it will be done, and we have that control to do that. So,
Okay, that was the question I have. So you have the control to make the easement. So if this is granted, you have ingress and egress. That doesn't affect the fire department.
yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? And no one else wishing to speak? So I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing with a 10-day written comment period by Zuccarelli, second by Dennis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, 6 in favor. Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. So our next
you.
meeting is November 18th. Regular session, day and evening. I think there's an evening session.
I don't think we have an evening session.
There's no evening for the 18th, just day.
Just
All
a,
right. It's a pretty heavy agenda, so could run over. So I'll entertain a motion to close with a
Motion to close.
motion by Dennis, second